What do you make of different documentations from the files, such as Trump's birthday note to Jeffrey Epstein, to a file that showed a guest staying over at Jeffrey Epstein's house saying, "I hope I don't see Trump when I enter"?
I have nothing to say about that. It's a document in an entire file. A file, to be honest with you, I have not seen in context. So I think it's inappropriate to comment on these things on a one-off when you haven't seen the breadth of it and can layer it all together. That's why probable cause in our criminal justice system matters.
Sure. What about the birthday note? Does that give you any suspicion about his and Jeffrey Epstein's relations?
No, and I would argue that if there was a concern that President Trump did anything wrong, the Democrats would have released all that information when Joe Biden was president, because they did unleash Jack Smith in a rogue operation, in my view, outside of the historic nature of the criminal justice system to target their political rival. So if the Democrats had the goods, so to speak, and they were in the Epstein files, something tells me they would have released that a long time before the presidential election last year.
Do you support the full, unconditional, unredacted release of the files?
Well, first of all, a complete unredaction would mean that you're exposing victims that don't want to be exposed. And that's the other side of this equation. I understand a lot of the victims who were in the gallery who've been seeking transparency, and I support them in that effort. But I would also argue there are other victims who do not want to be disclosed. And if you go through a full unredaction of that, they will be exposed in a way that they don't want to be. They might have kids now. They might have a career now. They might be in a relationship now. They've lived through this, and they don't want to have to live through it again. And I think those victims need to be respected as well.
So putting aside victims' names, everyone else could be unredacted. Just putting aside victims' names, that could be protected.
Yeah, I think so. And I think also, but again, I would add, people who did nothing wrong, like, I guess this is where this is going to get very tricky.
Do you trust the Department of Justice to make the sort of decisions as to who is and is not sort of allowed to be redacted, so to speak?
I do.